best story ever. Little shout out to Rapunzel. You know what I'm talking about. So, we've waxed poetic about the wines from Domaine de la Tour Penet before. Some of you watched our video that we did a few months back on their Mâcon Péronne vieilles vignes, their old vines cuvee of Mâcon Péronne. And at that time we talked about, well, there's a name here, Ramonet. That just sent a few chill bumps up the spines of some white Burgundy aficionados listening to this right now. Ramonet, one of the great, hallowed, amazing, beautiful, prestigious, iconic names in white Burgundy. Well, Jean-Claude was married to Anne Ramonet. Anne Ramonet's parents are the proprietors, or were the owners, of Domaine de la Tour Penet in Mâcon Péronne. And then Anne and Jean-Claude got divorced. Hey, it happens, man, right? You know, over 50%, right? The wine business might have even higher, who knows? Anyway, Anne went back to the family estate, started handling the vineyards there, and of course Jean-Claude went his way to run the family Ramonet estate. So they have two kids, Clarisse and Françoise. Is that it? And yeah, Anne Françoise. Ha, I was right. So Anne Françoise and Clarisse, their two daughters, both did the wine thing as well, of course, following in the family footsteps. And the daughters work both at Tour Penet and Ramonet as well. Clarisse, I think, in particular, as the winemaking team. Same winemakers, Ramonet name. Oh, and then we went one further, right? That last time around, we were like, oh, okay, so this wine, you know, we said Ramonet makes a Mâcon Péronne, right? And a Domaine Ramonet Mâcon Péronne. Sells for around, if you can find it in the market, like $125. And we were telling you, hey, we got this other wine here for $30. It's a quarter the price and probably the same damn wine. Would anyone write it on paper? No. But the fact that it's both Ramonets, it's Mâcon Péronne, family owns it, divide by pi, yeah, there's a really good shot, right? Well, we're blowing all that up again today. This is one better. This is a cuvee that we didn't know had existed until it was brought to our attention recently by the importer and distributor. This is the Cuvee 1872 Mâcon Péronne from Domaine de la Tour Penet. So, yeah, the old vines cuvee, old vines, pikers. I think for that cuvee, we're talking to 60, 80 plus year old vines at the property here. Now, this cuvee does it one better. It's named 1872 as an homage to the original plantings by the family in 1872. Rumor has it, some of those vines still officially remain. We couldn't find it documented anywhere. We couldn't find it on record. But in fact, maybe there's a small parcel of that property that's still originally planted in 1872, which to my mind would probably make them the oldest Chardonnay vines in France. Oh, you're selling me a bill of goods. We all know the whole vineyard isn't 150 years old. You're right. You're right. The young vines are 90 plus. That would still make them some of the oldest vines in Burgundy today. Hands down. So is there some 1872 gear here? Yeah, maybe. But the core of this wine is made from century vine Chardonnay made by the Ramonets. Sound interesting to you? Sure as hell sounded interesting to us. Let's check it out. Winemaking simple for this one. Not a lot of fancy wood like it might be at the Domaine Ramonet property where they got Premier Crus and Grand Crus and they got all these blink barrels, etc. But here they are using a mix, I think, of stainless steel as well as some larger neutral barrel for this wine. Because, you know, you don't want the wine to dominate the Macon flavors. The Macon's different, okay, than the Côte de Beaune. Let's face it, Macon isn't Chassagne-Montrachet. But what it can provide is this rich, floral, silky style of Chardonnay, this ingratiating, borderline hedonistic for white Burgundy style of Chardonnay that you can really sink your teeth into. Then the key is to get cut and tension in the wine while you're going through that process. And that's what the Ramonets are so good at, right? That's the talent, is creating that richness If you ever had the Chassagne Montrachet Rouchotte from Ramonet, you know about tension and richness allied together, with the oak being there, but not a big speaking point, if you will. And I think that's what they're trying to do here with this very different, distinct, unique terroir and these century-old vines. So, the florals. But I like the florality of Chardonnay from this area, almost like a honeyed florality. But what you do get is you do get a slight underpinning of mineral that is not so prevalent in a lot of the basic Mâconnais wines. And I think, honestly, you would find more in the wines of like a Great Puy, we say, right? The upscale Mâconnais wines, the big time neighborhood. And you do get that in this wine. So this wine smells a step above technically where it should be, huh? Yeah, that's where you get it. The center. It's pretty indisputable, even though you can get great richness and concentration in the mid-palate from young vines that are farmed properly. So I'm not saying it's all about old vines, but what 100-year-old vines give you is that center. That just, you get this wine in your palate and the center just goes, slow your roll. Hold on, wait a minute. And you go, ooh, yes, sir, yes, ma'am. The wine makes you stop, makes you think, makes you wait, and says there's so much more here. Take your time. And I love it when a wine tells me to take my time, slow your roll, brother, at $30 a bottle. That's rare. That does not happen. I'm telling you. We do this all the time. We taste hundreds of white Burgundies a year. And even a lot of wines that are $100 are like, yeah, how'd you like that? And you're like, yeah, that's good. I think I'll have another. Not too often, the wines make you go, okay, sorry, buddy, you know? Like you almost want to apologize to the wine on the first sip. You were thinking about going a different direction. Wow, wow, wow. Don't let the simple label deceive you. This is a ton of wine. It is a wine that is still kind of in its infancy. I wouldn't age any white Burgundy anymore. 10 years. I think that ship has sailed. Although white Burgundy wants to get that ship back anyway. Different story for a different time. But what you can do, I think, is enjoy the hell out of this wine slowly, patiently over the next half dozen years. No problem. I love the DM cork. Thank you. Thank you so much, helping a brother out. And wow, just blown away. How often do you get a wine made by the Ramonets from 100-year-old vines for $30? Answer, you don't, except here. Click, buy this wine, like us, subscribe, get in there, and yeah, F Facebook.